Now let's get real practical and take a look at how to use the Global 360 review process as a tool for growth and development. First, we'll overview the use of the Global 360 review by considering what to do prior to, during, and after the feedback appointment. First of all, prior to the feedback appointment. Once you've accepted the invitation to be their consultant, your first task is to help the person being reviewed track the review progress and complete the process. In the Global 360 system, the person being reviewed is responsible to select their own consultant. If you're selected as a person's consultant, you will receive an email from the person through Global 360 asking you to be their consultant. Now, of course, you can choose whether or not you're able to accept the invitation, and you're asked to contact the person with your answer. The email includes a link to your Global 360 dashboard, where you can find the review here. By clicking this link, you'll be able to view and help check the reviewee's review progress. The person being reviewed may need your assistance making sure they have all the reviewers they need, and that their reviewers complete the review for them. Remember that for the Leadership 360, they're asked to select a director, 4 peers, and 4 direct reports. Although, if necessary, 3 would probably be okay. When enough reviewers have completed the review, the consultant is the one who will generate and download the person's report and set up the feedback appointment with them. To generate and download the report, simply click the buttons. Before the appointment, the consultant needs to take time to prepare well by reading through the entire report, including the written comments. What I usually do is print an extra copy of the report for me to use, so I can mark and highlight areas that may help explain some items during the discussion. Here you're looking for any themes that may emerge as you read through the report, any repeated words or thoughts, as well as what seems to be strengths, weaknesses, hidden strengths, or blind spots. But remember that during the appointment, you do not want to tell them what you see, but you want it to be a time for self-discovery and a conversation with them. The next phase is during the feedback appointment. It's important to remember that for the Leadership 360, the feedback must be delivered in a personal conversation with a trained feedback consultant. Now, for the 360 Lite, the person has the option of selecting someone who's not a consultant to help them facilitate the process. This person is called a facilitator. The consultant should see this appointment as a ministry of encouragement, and effort should be made to select a comfortable environment for the appointment and to spend time establishing rapport with the person. Once you've prayed, established rapport, and set a comfortable environment, the first agenda item for the consulting appointment is to read the 360 feedback introduction page aloud with the reviewee. Let me just read through the feedback introduction page now to make sure that we're all familiar with it. Welcome. The 360 is designed to give you helpful feedback to identify strengths and areas for growth. Here are some reminders that help you get the most out of this gift of feedback. First of all, some biblical foundations. 1 Thessalonians 5:11. Therefore, encourage one another and build up one another, just as you also are doing. Proverbs 19:20. Listen to counsel and accept discipline, that you may be wise the rest of your days. The basis of the 360 feedback. It's based on observed behavior. It's not a judgment, nor is it complete. It's a snapshot of what has been observed in a designated period of time. What others observe is not everything that's true about you. For example, people cannot see your thoughts, motivations, or intentions. Their observations are limited, but they are valid. The focus of the 360 review is organizational leadership, not ministry results. It's development, not performance review or placement. It's relative strengths and areas for growth, not numbers or ratings. The objectives of the 360 review feedback are 1. To identify clear strengths, hidden strengths, developmental needs or weaknesses, and blind spots. And 2. To help you make a personal development plan. We will read through the entire report. The first 3 summary pages will give a good overview and help you spot patterns and contrasts. For questions about specific scores, you can gain more clarity by reading the feedback comment sections. Next, start with the self-others summary chart. Here you especially want to note the clear strengths, the hidden strengths. These are areas where the others saw the person as significantly stronger than he or she saw self to be. Clear weaknesses or developmental needs, and blind spots, which are areas where the person being reviewed saw self as significantly stronger than others saw him or her to be. Notice that a possible hidden strength or blind spot has a 2-point difference or more. Then you briefly read through the remaining 2 charts, self and director peers and direct reports. Next, you read through all the comments with them, section by section, taking time to ask the reviewee what they see or learn from the comments, and highlighting any additional helpful comments. Remember, for this section, only refer to the numbers if they will help clarify a question the person has about the feedback. Finally, work with the person to fill out the 360 feedback summary sheet and walk through the personal development plan sheet with them to help them complete it. Now, it may require a second appointment for either you or their coach to help them finalize their personal development plan. Let's briefly take a look at the 360 feedback summary sheet. Here you let them write down a summary of their clear strengths, hidden strengths, weaknesses or developmental needs, and blind spots. They should also include a summary of their observations about the feedback process and recommended development steps. Let's also look at the tool we use for the personal development plan. Remember, the personal development plan is an absolutely essential follow-through after the 360 review if real change is hoped for. For the last part of this training, we'll have a section on how to coach someone through a personal development plan. We'll conclude this section by considering how to handle various reactions to the feedback. Remember, there are no ideal scores. We're looking for relative strengths and areas of growth, not the numbers. People may have different feelings about the 360 feedback, including being apprehensive, intimidated, or even discouraged. Our role as consultants is to be supportive and help the reviewee process the information as areas of growth and motivation. There may be some feedback that's difficult to hear. So here are some guidelines for delivering the bad news. First, if there's a strong reaction, try to explore with them what the information is really saying and help them hear it accurately. If things get too hot, as happens on very rare occasions, it may be wise to end the appointment for now and allow the person time to calm down and resume again later. The consultant should help make the negative easier to accept by pointing out specific behaviors and not speaking in broad generalities. This is where the written comments will help. Also, make sure you discourage them from trying to figure out who gave them their most negative responses. Finally, after the feedback appointment, remember that you should not retain a copy of the review for your files. It's the property of the person being reviewed. All copies of the 360 document should go to the person and those that he or she shares it with, and no one else. Next, pass a copy of their feedback summary sheet to their director and encourage the person to give a copy of their personal development plan to their director. And finally, inform the person that 2 weeks after the report is generated, they should go back and check their review progress page and either delete their report permanently or archive the report so that they and only they can access it and compare the results when they do another review in the future. After watching the demonstration and taking time to practice coaching someone through their 360 report, you can review your notes and then you'll be ready to take the consultant's exam. To take the exam, simply click on the Resources tab and click on the Consultant's Exam. That will give you a link to click on and open an email for you to fill out. In the subject line and the message content, indicate that you want to take the Consultant's Exam, something like this, and then click Send. You will receive an email message from Global 360 inviting you to take the exam with a link you can click on to go to the exam. Once you've completed the exam and clicked Submit, you will immediately be informed whether you passed or not. Now, if you did not pass, don't worry. You can simply click on See Your Results, and then you can correct your answers you missed and resubmit the exam. If you pass the exam, your status will be changed to consultant, and you will be able to begin that important role. Well, I trust this has been helpful. I encourage you to become familiar with the Global 360 site at new.global360review.com. If you still have unanswered questions, contact us at G360review@gmail.com. Now be sure to check out the demonstration video and the video on how to coach someone through a personal development plan.